Hi everyone, and welcome to Garden Talk with Teresa. Hope you're enjoying the warmer weather as life gets back to somewhat normal. And I would love to bring you in on some of our future episodes just ahead of time. And I'd like to mention that we're going to be having a massage therapist who specializes in PTSD, and she also has some celebrity clientele, which she may not want to share with us. Anyhow, she's going to help us with our gardening aches and our soreness and stiffness that we do seem to come across from those of us that love our gardening and tend to overdo it a little bit. We'll also have a Taunton resident on who will share his knowledge of the art of grafting fruit trees, which is near and dear to my heart. My dad did that as well, so I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about grafting. We'll be discussing predators in the garden and how to repel them. We will be talking about precautions and remedies regarding mosquitoes, bees, ticks, poison ivy, you name it. Anything you can come across in the garden or in the yard. We'll even learn how to make some poison ivy salve, which you can do at home, and I will have the recipe available as well. And again, on another show, we're going to be touring a project in Taunton that has been going strong for about 10 years. So we'll be helping them to celebrate their 10-year anniversary. And we'll also be doing a show dedicated to my dad, who was an avid gardener, to put it mildly. He passed away in February, and we will be featuring his amazing gardening skills. I really look forward to that episode. Another episode, we'll be touring some private gardens, maybe even in your neighborhood or even in your yard. Anyone interested in showing off your gardening skills, whether it be a small property or a large property, it doesn't matter. Contact me and we'll talk. You can reach me by email or through Facebook, and my email address would be gardentalkwiththeresa@gmail.com. Looking for some of those submissions. That's going to be a really interesting episode. We'll be touring several different gardens, and they may cover several different episodes depending on how much response we have. And on today's episode, we are going to be doing quite a bit. We're going to be talking about the Newport Daffodil Festival. And we're also going to be visiting with Christina of the Green Animal Topiary Gardens. We will also be sharing a fun summer recipe, which is a little favorite of mine. And you're probably wondering, what is she doing with a pool noodle? Well, if you stay tuned to the end, you will find out when we do our gardening project. So stay tuned, and I'm excited about today's show, and we'll be back shortly.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, and athlete because a kidney transplant gave him a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as a donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Welcome back to Garden Talk with Teresa. And next we're going to be discussing the Newport Daffodil Festival. More Newport. This year, due to COVID, it was more of a daffodil days just due to the downsizing of the event. However, we're going to talk about the event in its entirety and see what it actually entails. Okay? There's usually 1.2 million daffodils total that are planted around the Newport area. They even have a contest to guess the exact amount that were planted. Let's show you what I am referring to with these upcoming slides. Here you have one of the entry signs to Newport, and right across from Easton's Beach. Beautiful location as you're coming into Newport and driving up towards the cliff walks. Beautiful, beautiful photo op here. And another view, another gorgeous display of daffodils. Here we see the bridge in the background, and anyone who knows Newport knows where this is. Okay, next, this is again near Easton's Beach, almost across from Flo's Clam Shack, near the Newport beach location. And again, another beautiful photo opportunity. They have benches there, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous view. Besides these public locations in Newport, there are also private locations, businesses, churches. Everyone seems to get involved, not just in Newport either, but all over Aquidneck Island. The public locations are actually done by Daffodilian, which is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization. And all of these bulbs are donated. And yes, they do not take kindly to having the tulips pulled. They want everyone to be able to enjoy. And again, kids, pets, everyone can enjoy. They usually plant these in rows so you can walk amongst the daffodils. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous sight when they're all full in bloom. Here's another view from the beach looking into towards land. You can slightly see the rose, but what a gorgeous display. When you hit it just right, how perfect. Okay, another display at the 40 steps along the cliff walks in Newport. Again, everyone taking their photo here. Another part of the Daffodil Days, the Daffodil Festival, they typically have competitions downtown where the shops will compete for what they call Best Daffy Dressed, and they'll actually decorate their window displays, and they have contests for that. There are also cycling tours throughout the city for anyone who's more athletically inclined, and there's also full, half, and marathons, and also 5Ks affiliated with the event as well. Another really cute element to Daffodil Festival is the Daffy Dressed Doggy Parade. And yes, I didn't say parade, but parade, and that is the official name. And again, it's a contest. And they also have a classic car parade along Ocean Drive, where the vehicles are decorated with daffodils. Here is another view of the cliff walk going up towards the 40 steps. Beautiful, beautiful place to rest. They have benches along the walkway. And this is when the daffodils are just starting to pass. So you can imagine when they were in full bloom at this location. Let's see. Again, just driving around Newport or anywhere on Aquidneck Island, you'll find these daffodils. You'll find them anywhere, but if you just want to go for a nice drive, this is where you would find an abundance of the daffodils. I really enjoyed taking my time and driving around and just stopping when I just would see the abundance of these daffodils. It was just completely amazing. And I could have shown you a lot more slides, but I just had to pare them down to these several and just go from there. Okay. Here you have some tulips at a private location, and I just wanted to show here how gorgeous the display is. You can mix and match different types, different colors of tulips. Here it complements the color of the building, which is the yellow. It's absolutely gorgeous pairing. Okay, here is another view of tulips, and you can see several different varieties of tulips besides different types of colors. You have, this is at Green Animal Topiary Gardens, which we will be referring to shortly. And this is just one small garden display on their property. Okay, here's another display of theirs, just a complete garden of red tulips. And again, you can mix and match, and there are so many varieties of tulips. Okay, welcome back. What I also wanted to show you was the Green Animals actually has a map. So not only do they give you a map guided map so that you can find your way around the location, it actually gives you photos and lists all of the varieties of daffodils that are on the property. So, of course, the Preservation Society is involved in the Daffodil Festival, and Green Animals is no exception. They actually have 42 varieties of daffodils on the property, totaling 15,000 bulbs, which would include the tulips and all the other varieties of bulbs. Again, the map will show you around for the daffodils, and then come back at another time and you'll see the tulips in full bloom, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And the way they plant and plan at this location and maintain everything is just amazing. And what I would like to show you is a meeting that I was lucky enough to have with Dan Christina, who is the head horticulturist at the Green Animal Topiary Garden. We've had Dan, at least his photographs, on the show and seen some of his work as far as the workshops that they do at this location. But I was lucky enough to have another interview with him, and he's going to talk with us about the grounds and the preparation and everything that goes into these beautiful, beautiful gardens. So check out here my visit with Dan. Hi everyone, this is Teresa Mello, and you're watching Garden Talk with Teresa on TCAM TV. And I am here with Dan Christina.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Yes, Chief Horticulturist with the Green Animal Topiary Gardens. And we're going to enjoy some information that he's going to share with us on how these gardens got so gorgeous.
Thank you. It's always nice to hear about them.
Yes.
Talked about that way. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, especially right now. I mean, May is just full of color, all shades and all types, from woodies to trees to bulbs. As you can see, our extensive bulb display here is about 5,400 tulips just in this one space, and we have another 3,000 or so that are spread out throughout the rest of the grounds.
Wow.
And that's on top of about 15,000 daffodils that bloom for about a month span too. So.
Yes, actually I was here not too long ago and saw the daffodils and couldn't wait to come back and see the tulips. I can't believe these were all green just about a week ago.
Yep. Yeah, we've had some really good temperatures and a lot of nice sunshine lately, so it's been popping them all open. And what's really nice is that they last for a good 2.5 week window, so you really can enjoy it for a while instead of just like a 1 week kind of done thing.
Right, absolutely amazing. Now, what does it take to put something like this together? I mean, as far as staff or hours? Or?
Yeah, so as most people know, bulbs generally go in the ground in the fall. So everything has to be planted anytime between the beginning of October, Columbus Day, through maybe winter solstice. We don't usually plant later than that because a lot of bulbs need a certain amount of chilling time in the ground to flower properly. So we usually start up, and I have very small staff and a hardy cadre of volunteers who, as long as the holes are dug, they're willing to drop the bulbs right in them, and we just get it done as fast as we can. It usually takes about 2 months to get maybe 15,000 bulbs in the ground.
Wow.
Because we're also doing the regular maintenance on the rest of the property in that span of time too. So.
Do you usually have enough volunteers, or do you usually?
Yeah, we've got a really devoted group. Some have been here longer than I have. Some are newer, and they run ranges from a couple hours a week to maybe 16 hours a week. So it's really nice.
Excellent.
It's a good community of volunteers that we have for sure.
Great. I know it takes an army sometimes, they say.
It does, for sure.
Great. Now, how about other things that you grow on the property, or the other things that you plant from seed or from seedling?
Yeah, so the entire property is planted out with tens of thousands of seedlings that are grown by us on site. We have a very small greenhouse and a set of cold frames we use to maximize production. And really the reason we do so much from seed is we can pick and choose some more specialized kind of plants that you might not be able to find at a local garden center, so something less common. And it also gives us quality control so that I know exactly what I get that I'm going to put in the garden.
Exactly.
And it makes it nice because as I develop the plans, we always develop a year prior. It lets me know that, all right, these color combinations that we tried out maybe in our cutting gardens for a trial basis are going to work here in the formal garden.
Right.
Because as soon as the tulips are done, we pull all of them right around Memorial Day, and then the annuals go in, and it's another 5,400 annuals that fill that space. And we try to do that in 2 days, so that there's no drop off in
downtime.
quality
Right.
for visitors to come to.
Right.
In addition to that, we also grow thousands of vegetable starts for our own garden, and then we also hold a plant sale in
that's
which we
right.
sell off all of that material, as much of that material as we can, and then we donate extra material to some local food banks and community garden groups as well.
Nice. Actually, I've heard there's some other properties that the Preservation Society has that does the same thing, I believe. Oh,
Yep.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Tell us about the plant sale. That's
Yeah,
something
it's
that's a little
very
interesting.
exciting. We did not have a plant sale last year. It was just too thick of COVID to really figure out how to handle that. And this year we're trying a brand new format. So we used to always have the sale on the Saturday before Mother's Day, which would be tomorrow, or. And one of the things that we get 1,000 people in a span of maybe 4 or 5 hours, and that's such a crush of people. We wanted to figure out a way to break it apart and spread it out. So we're doing 8 to 10 from Monday the 10th to Sunday the 16th. So you'll have 7 days to come. It's early hours before the property's even opened. So you can pick out whatever you want. We grow everything organic. We don't use any kind of synthetic pesticides or fertilizers.
Perfect.
And a lot of great variety of things. We have maybe 19 varieties of specialty tomatoes and 15 varieties of peppers, and a lot of herbs. It's a really wide-ranging type of material. This year's a little different. We're doing much more seedling-based and transplant-sized plant material instead of what some people might consider finished product that would go straight into a window box. And part of that is kind of just to educate the general public that if you can buy a transplant, you'll be able to enjoy those flowers for a much longer period of time than, say, if you're putting in finished annuals in your window box now. They're going to give out by the time you get to August.
Exactly.
And then you got to do it again.
Exactly.
So this way, you just give it a little patience, enjoy the rest of spring, and then you get your summer blooms in the summer when we really should have them.
Perfect.
So
That's great thinking.
Yeah.
Thinking ahead. That's perfect.
it's trying.
Excellent.
We plan for the plant sale years ahead because we generate a lot of perennial plant material too.
Right.
And so to get finished quality size, you have to prepare that a couple of years ahead.
Perfect
so.
timing too.
And it's a great time to plant perennials. So
Excellent.
it'll be a fun sale. We're
So
excited to see how it goes.
That's May 10th through 16th.
The 10th through the
And
16th.
the hours again?
8 a.m. to 10 p.m. After 10, we're going to have to say no, which we hope isn't too much of an issue, but hopefully people will be able to make those variety of days and options. So.
Yes, and wearing masks as well.
Yep, we'll be wearing masks, and it's all cash, no charge. So this year that's a little different as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it should be just as much fun as we can have.
Excellent. Excellent. And something else that people may or may not know as well is that here at Green Animals, they've done throughout the year workshops online.
Yep, last year we focused on doing a couple of virtual Zoom-oriented workshops. This year we have some summer programming that's in development and should be announced soon. You can always check our website, which would be www.newportmansions.org. And there's a great link tree to how you can register and get tickets for that kind of event. We have some very exciting things coming later on in the year.
Good.
We're looking forward to restrictions easing and being able to enjoy the property in the way that really it can be. And that's not to say that you can't come and spend a whole day here now anyway. Bring a picnic.
Right.
And we have a Stroll the Gardens ticket, which you can use at multiple properties or use it here 3 different times.
Oh, that's good to know.
So you can see the garden as it evolves through the months if you want to just pick this one site. And it's really fun because we don't, there's no time limitation, so you can just come and enjoy a picnic and spend hours here, let the kids run around or just sit on the porch, look at the view, and really enjoy the property the way the family probably would have.
That
which
is excellent. That
a
sounds so
luxury.
good.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Excellent. Great. Anything else that you'd want to share with us? Actually, how long has this location been operational as Green Animals?
So The property was purchased by Thomas Brayton in 1887 or 1897, somewhere around there. And he hired on the first caretaker, Jose Carrero, back in 1906, 1908 era. And they developed the gardens slowly, and then in the 30s, after Hurricane of 38 came through, George Mendonca, who became the second caretaker, started, and they really expanded the Topiary garden. And then upon Mr. Brayton's passing, his daughter Alice came to live here permanently, as this was just their summer home for all those years. And she named it Green Animals at that time. So certainly the Topiary existed, but that was really the way it was, the inception of the name. And,
that's how it came about.
She donated it to the Preservation Society upon her death in 1972. So we're coming up on 50 years now, which is pretty exciting. And there have only been a few different caretakers in that time span, which is pretty exciting to be part of that limited group.
I know several of you. And congratulations for being the most recent.
Thank you.
Yes, and you've done a great job here. I mean, this is just amazing. You have to come and see this property. Again, like Dan said, spend the day here, get the tickets, bring the kids, bring a picnic, enjoy this property, enjoy the other preservation properties as well. This is amazing. We picked the perfect day to do this.
Yep.
The sun is shining.
Absolutely. Gorgeous. It's like this almost all the time.
Yes.
Really.
Oh, yeah. It is. Okay, well, thank you so much, Dan. This was a pleasure. We've talked with Dan in the past during our Christmas episode, and I'm sure we'll be back again in the future because this is one of my favorite spots in Newport. So excellent. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And hope you enjoyed the episode, and thank you for watching. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some tips, some excellent tips I think. We're using some things that you have around the house. But a few things before we get into some of these items that I brought with you to show to you. Lemongrass. Some things that you may know, lemongrass is great to deter mosquitoes. However, you don't have to just use lemongrass. Lemongrass is kind of an ornamental grass, but if you want to use something a little bit different and you're not into the grasses, lavender works great, peppermint, and there's actually a citronella plant as well. It's not as effective as the candle, which is more potent, but the citronella plant would be more natural. And actually, if you take the leaves and kind of crunch them in your hand, you'll get more of the scent on you, and you can kind of put it on you, and definitely a deterrent for mosquitoes. And another thing that I'd like to talk about would be roses. This time of year, I usually use 4th of July as a guide, but it seems to be coming a little bit earlier and earlier. The pesky beetles, whether they be the caterpillars or the beetles. If you find holes in your rose leaves or your rose buds themselves, typically they're from beetles. So you want to treat those and keep an eye on that, because once they take hold, it could happen in a day, it could happen in a weekend, and they can go rampant and just kind of wipe out and destroy all the leaves on your roses. And these plants really need the leaves, again, photosynthesis, to be able to thrive and bloom. Okay? So again, treat them. And anything that you see here and we talk about, you can find on my Facebook page as well, and I'll go into a little bit more detail as far as where you can find some of these items as well. Okay? Let's see. Let's start with an old favorite of mine, which is the banana peel, and I know I've mentioned this maybe 3 times at this point, but it's a favorite. The banana peel is great for potassium. And roses, again, love potassium. So when you do have your banana, just peel it, and you just want to save the peels. Make a little trench around the base of the rose. Cut the banana peels in 2 or 3, depending on how many roses you have. Put them in the ground, and then just cover them with the soil. What will happen is while you're watering or during rain, it's going to over time decompose, and the potassium will then kind of seep into the ground and into the roots of the plant, and you'll see a difference. In fact, I would challenge you to do a little test. If you have more than 1 rose, Do the banana peel on one plant and not the other, and you'll see a difference, and let me know about it, okay? Another thing you can do is cut up the banana and the peel, if you say you have a banana that's a little bit too old, and put it in water, and you're almost making like a banana tea in a sense, and then just strain that liquid and use that for potted plants as well. It'll do the same thing, okay? And another household item, it's not a planting item, but when you having your cookouts, think about your corn on the cob. Save your cusks, okay? Save the cobs because they make great fire starters. So again, cookout season, fire pit season, save them, great fire starters, okay? Another tip as far as fire starters too, with using a homemade item is your dryer lint. What I usually do is take the dryer lint and just save it in a small pail next to the dryer, and that's what I have when I need to start the fire pit. It works amazingly, very simple. Okay, and talking about fire pits as well, wood ash. What do we do with the wood ash? You get a lot of wood ash. Most of us have gardens, and it's great for the garden. But did you know that it's also great for ponds? It actually removes pond algae, and it actually strengthens the pond plants as well. So what you want to do is take a tablespoon to 1,000 gallons per your pond. There's actually a formula that I'll have posted on my Facebook page as well, where you can find out the actual dimension of your pond and the quantity of gallons, so you'll know how much to put in there. You don't want to overdo it. Wood ash is also good with slugs. Slugs don't like anything abrasive. If you find, say, like your hostas, your low-lying plants, you're getting some chew marks or some holes there, put a little bit of wood ash just in a circle, sprinkle it in a circle around the plants. They will not pass by or go over that abrasive material. Same thing would be eggshells. You want to crunch up some eggshells, they won't cross that as well. Sprinkle those on your hostas or low-lying plants. Okay. Another item is aspirin. Another household item. Put 2 or 3 aspirin in a hole when you're digging your tomatoes. It's great for the soil. Okay. It helps to fight disease in tomatoes. If you didn't put them in the hole while you're digging them, you just, again, dilute them in some water and then just pour them at the base of the plant, okay? It contains salicylic acid, which is, tomatoes actually thrive on it. So it's very, very good. Another item is the baking soda, okay? We all have them in our fridge. 101 uses, and I can use them 101 ways in the garden too. What we'll do here is it kills fungus. That seems to be a big issue, especially for house plants, potted plants, but it can be an issue with outdoor potted plants as well. Again, baking soda is highly alkaline, so it reduces the acidity in the soil. And again, there's certain plants that like that, certain plants that don't like that, so you might want to check on which ones you'd be using or what you have planted in your locations. Another good use for the baking soda would be compost. Just put a little in the compost when it starts to get a little stinky, and you'll see a difference, okay? Let's see, coffee grounds would be something, again, you have around the house. Save your coffee grounds, okay? Take a little bit of cinnamon, about a teaspoon of cinnamon per your coffee grounds, and either, I would say, club soda or something with carbonation. You don't really want to use any sugar or anything with flavor in it, so club soda would be the safe bet, just to get it moist. And again, it's a great fertilizer for potted plants. You're going to have the most healthiest plants, whether it be indoor and outdoor, if you follow all these tips, I'll tell you. As far as the cinnamon, I could just keep going. Cinnamon is another one, just like the baking soda, that you can use in your garden or your yard in 101 ways. The cinnamon, ants hate them. Hate them. A lot of plants, a lot of animals don't like cinnamon. Anything that has a strong, pungent odor seems to deter certain animals. In this case, would be the insects, would be the ants. Okay, again, you can put them on a path somewhere, or if you have an issue with ants in a certain location. Let's see, it also heals, again, potted soil. Okay, you sprinkle it on the soil, it's going to kill the fungus. It's a great rooting hormone for those of us that like to clip and regrow from scratch. Just use that instead of growth hormone. Again, it's an all-natural solution. And also, when you're sprinkling this on potted plants to kill the fungus, it's automatically going to reduce the gnats as well. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 there. But these are a great healing product. If you're a little overzealous in the garden and say you tend to scratch or scrape some of your plants, it's a nice wound healer. So you kind of put a little bit of cinnamon on the little cuts and scrapes. So it's a little bit of a healer, just like it acts as the rooting hormone. It's basically a healer, okay? And as usual, because of my uses of the cinnamon, you can also get it in a larger size, okay? Which is how we use it at my house, okay? Also, let's see, vinegar. There's distilled vinegar and you have white vinegar. There's different uses for them around the house. Here, what I'm going to show you is you can take these little containers. These are the 3-ounce containers for traveling. You can also get them at certain garden centers, certain farm stands, that type of thing, where you can put some deer repellent is usually what they're used for. But you can make your own, again, with these travel containers. You can get them at any pharmacy, box store. And what I did was, it's real easy, just take a hole punch. If you don't have a drill and you're not handy with tools, take a hole punch. You want to do holes on both sides, okay, somewhere near the top of the bottle. And what that does is it allows you to put through the cable tie, okay, and that's what you'll use to hang this in the garden. But first, you want to take a cotton ball, put your vinegar in this, okay, use the distilled vinegar. Again, it's very pungent to rabbits. It'll also help somewhat with deer. Deer are very, very particular, but soak it with the cotton ball and then put it in your little container, put the cap back on, and this will last for quite a while. Again, when you hang it this way, the holes are on the bottom side, so when it rains, it really won't dilute, and it's just enough of an opening so that the scent can release. And again, just hang it around the perimeter of your garden. You can put it on the fences, put it on the actual plant itself, if it's just an area that the rabbits tend to like to visit. Okay, again, it's just real easy. You can buy them anywhere, do it yourself, and just keep refilling them. Just put more cotton balls and just keep adding as they dry out. All right, white vinegar, which is good for acidic-loving plants. I know we've talked about the alkaline a little bit earlier, but for acidic-loving plants, what you can do is put a cup of the white vinegar and add it to a gallon of water. And again, acidic-loving plants would be plants such as azaleas, holly, hydrangea, and as far as hydrangea would be the blue hydrangea, because the blue hydrangea needs more of acidic soil to create the blue flowers, where your pink hydrangeas need more of an alkaline soil. So again, if you have the blue or the blue-purple hydrangeas, then this is what you'd want to help to keep that color in, okay? Hopefully these have been helpful. There's so many more that I could do, but I'm going to limit myself to this today. One other thing, I didn't know if you knew that dirt is actually edible. It's good for the system, it's healthy, and it's a nice treat. Actually, it's more of a cute little snack for your parties. What we did here was we took chocolate pudding, and it's actually sugar-free chocolate pudding, and we covered it with crushed Oreos. And I used the Oreo thins, so no white fillings were harmed in the making of this dessert. So you just sprinkle them on the top of the pudding, and then go out and clip some of your mint or some sprigs of what you have around the house, and you have a cute little centerpiece or dessert for your cookout or your party or your guests, or to take somewhere. And of course, a nice treat. And again, sugar-free. All right, so that's it as far as the tips, but what I'd like to do is go over to the project today. And we're going to get to the pool noodle that we talked about earlier. And you're probably wondering, what can we do with a pool noodle? There are a lot of things you can do with a pool noodle, but as far as a garden-related or yard-related project, I'm going to show you something that's a little easy to do. You can do it with the kids, with an adult supervised. What we take is, you can do the wide pool noodles, and there are some narrower pool noodles. So the size is completely up to you, and the thickness is up to you. Okay, so in any color as well. So you want to do about 5 or 6 of these of one color and then one of another color for a center. What we're going to do is we're going to attach these together because we're going to create a floating device of another type. And we're going to connect them with wire ties, with the cable ties, I should say. And it's easy enough to just put them right through directly without using any tools. It's easy enough to pull right through, and that's how you connect them. Okay, so one pool noodle to another pool noodle, and then you'll be connecting them like this. Okay, so you're starting with the center piece, and then you're going to go all the way around the center piece with a different color. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up with something like this. So you have the center piece, and every piece you add with the cable tie connects to that center piece. And then you go around. This one took only 5 because it's a larger pool noodle that I used here. And then again, I had the different color in the center, obviously because we're making floating flowers. And this one took 6 because it's a smaller size pool noodle. Okay. And what we did was we attached them with the wire ties, and this is what you have in the back. And just clip off the excess of the cable tie. Okay. Then what we do is you can take your little tea lights, and you can get the battery operated lights. I would put either a piece of foil or a piece of saran wrap on the bottom, just so that they don't get wet, so to keep the batteries dry. And just place them on the center of your flower, and you can put them in the pool. It's a great idea for a party if you're going to have people over. Again, just put the tea light in the center, and you have a great little floating flower. Again, you want to just have them float in the pool while the kids are there. Don't even bother with the candle. And you have a great, colorful decoration that you can leave in the pool. You can put it in the bathtub, for that matter. All right. All the instructions here for this item are going to be listed on my Facebook page as well. If you have any questions, any suggestions, if there are any ideas that you'd like to see demonstrated on the show, just please contact me via email at gardentalkwithteresa at gmail.com. I've had 2 emails for 16 years and recently changed to Garden Talk, so I tend to want to say the other email, which I still use, but it's for my business. Again, Garden Talk with Teresa at gmail.com or through my Facebook page. All right. Now, lastly, I would like to announce that we're going to have a little contest. And I was speaking to someone this weekend, and she was mentioning the show and how she would love to see the show. And it got me thinking that there are probably other people as well. And I've asked around, and there are other people as well that would love to come into the studio and see the show live, see what we do, how we put this together. And we actually do tape this in one take. So anyone that likes, follows, or shares my Facebook page from this point forward will be eligible for a drawing to be a guest on the show during a future taping. Okay, and also anyone who subscribes to my YouTube channel will also be eligible for the drawing to be a guest in the audience at a taping of one of the shows. So that's 2 opportunities to possibly win and come on the show and see what we do, and maybe give me a hand, or maybe even give me some pointers. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the tips. Again, let me know what you think. Give me some ideas. Any interest that you have, anything you want to see on the show, I'm definitely open to, and I look forward to being in touch. Thank you, and have a great, great summer. Bye-bye.